Hey guys, Akhtar here, Reaching Excellence, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can raise money to buy businesses. I'm going to show you a couple of strategies, but I'm going to break it down step by step and give you the way that I do it and the way that I teach my students. So I want you to stay to the very end so that you can have the full breakdown, the step-by-step way. And also I want to teach you some of the obstacles that you might come and give you the tools to navigate that so you can actually go out and raise money to buy businesses. Now, I'm a big fan of doing deferred considerations, which is basically little to no money down, but not every deal is going to work that way. Some deals you're going to need to have money for. You can either use your own money. If you haven't got your own capital's tied up, then you're always going to need to have a backup stream of investors that come in and back up your deals so you can keep growing your portfolio and building your wealth so you can live your dream, okay? What qualifies me to teach you this stuff? Well, look, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. For the last 20 years, I have been involved in property. I've built a multi-million-pound property portfolio. I've done 208 deals, so I know something about the art of doing the deal. That portfolio allowed me to retire at the age of 37, bringing me in a six-figure income. More recently, I've been building a portfolio of M&A companies, and I'm also the founder of the Reaching Excellence Wealth Academy and the author of the Code of Reaching Excellence. So I've got a lot of experience here. Now, why am I doing this? My mission is to help every man, every woman to overcome a lot of the challenges that they have when it comes to building wealth so they can go out, build wealth, live their dream and live their best life. Now, why I'm sharing this video with you is this, because when I first started out, it took me 10 years to do my first property deal. Now, part of that was down to having a very limited mindset, but also believing that I needed to have money to do deals, okay? Here's the thing, and this is what I learned through bitter experience. It wasn't until about 10 years later and I actually had the money that I realized that you don't need money, you need the skill and knowledge. And what I'm going to be sharing with you here is the skill and knowledge that you need, irrespective of how much money you have or haven't got. You're going to get to a point when you've got an abundance of deals that you're going to run out of money, okay? So if you've got the skill and knowledge to go out and find private investors to bring money in to do your deals, you will grow. And also, it's a win-win. You're actually going to serve those people, okay? So let's dive straight into this. Okay, there's two ways that you can raise money. So the first way is going to be what's called a simple loan. Someone will simply give you a loan personally to you and you'll agree a fixed rate of interest. So you can either pay them on a monthly basis or you can roll this up to the end of the term. So it depends on how long you take it for, a year, 18 months, 2 years. You then roll up the interest and say, right, we're going to pay you this at the end of the term and give them a lump sum. And depends on how you're going to refinance that back up. You either pay them out of the business or some other way, okay? So that's the easiest way to do it. The second way to do it is to raise finance and give people a slice of the pie, give them some equity in the business. Now, one of the things I see that people do, and this is something I did when I was like a lot younger, I was not in that mindset where I wanted to share anything. I wanted 100% of everything myself. And the question is this, do you want to have 100% of nothing, or do you want to have a good percentage of something that's going to make a lot of money for you and for those people around you? I'm more of that approach and that mindset now. I'd rather collaborate with people and split the deal and split the equity with people because together we can achieve more. And that's what I think, okay? So don't get caught up in this idea of I don't want to give away equity. If someone's going to put some equity in or some money in, that's just one part of the equation. Quite often, if you've got the right kind of investor on board, they can also open doors up for you. They can bring the right people on board. It's more than just the money. There's opportunities, there's skill sets, there's contacts, there's resources. That can help you grow collectively. So start thinking longer term, bigger picture than this just one deal, okay? Think of abundance rather than scarcity. If you've got multiple deals that you've got and you've got everyone having a slice of the pie in it, collectively you'll make more money than just trying to have one deal 100% to yourself. Also, the other thing is when there are problems and stuff, then it's always good to have other people and their input if that's what they're going to do. I work with my business partner, Elliot, and it's great because we bounce ideas around, and every now and then we pass the baton backwards and forwards. He goes on holiday for a little while, passes the baton to me, then when I go on holiday, pass the baton back to him. So look beyond just the investment that you're going to have for the deal. Look at what that person can bring to the table, their mindset. It's another brain, it's another contact, okay? So start thinking that way. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I've got no experience, okay, of raising money. What do I do? Well, the immediate thing you can go and do is, if you've got a really good deal, go talk to your friends and family, because already you've got you've got a relationship built with them. They know, like you, and trust you. And you need to present the deal to them in such a way that tells them what the deal is, what the risks are, what the returns are, and what's going to happen, how to get their money back. So when I present a deal, and I think it's important that you have some sort of pitch deck together. A pitch deck is really just like an overview of the deal, the numbers, the market, and everything else, so that anyone who looks at it knows exactly what it is. Now, I used to have people coming to me all the time saying, Akhtar, I've got a deal here. It's a property deal, it's a business deal. And I go, okay, great. Well, what is it? And they say, well, it's this, that, and the other. It's a house, it's this, or it's a business. that's no good to me. I need to have it in some kind of written format or some kind of pitch deck so I can see what the numbers are, what the returns are, what the risk is, okay? So you need to get into the habit of creating some sort of pitch deck to pitch to your investors or your friends or family. You can show them what the business is, how long it's been running, who's behind it, what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats are, and how you're going to pay their money back, because that's the most important thing. How long you need the money for, how you're going to pay it back, what's your exit strategy. And you need to have multiple exit strategies. And what I mean by exit strategies is multiple ways of paying them back, okay? So here's the first way we're going to pay you back. The first way you're going to pay you back is out the profits of the business. Well, what if the shit hits the fan and that doesn't happen for some reason? Okay, well, here's the other way I can do it. I've got this property and I'll refinance this property, or I've got equity or cash somewhere else. So I like to have 3 exit strategies or 3 ways of paying the loan back, because it gives me a degree of comfort, and also someone else is giving me their money, okay? That could be their life savings, that could be all that they've got. I've got a responsibility to make sure that they get their money back and the deal is a good, solid, safe deal, okay? So this is really, really important. So the first place then is going to be friends and family. Now, what happens if you don't have friends and family, or you've utilized your friends and family? You need to go to that next level. Now, when it comes to doing these deals, it's quite simple. You need to find a really good deal, and you need to construct the deal in such a way that it's as creative as possible. I'm a big fan of doing little to no money down deals. I've done so many of those in property, and I've done a few in M&A, but not every deal is going to be that way. So sometimes you're going to need to have the deal, and you're going to need to have money. If you haven't got your own money, you need to utilize other people's money. So where do we go and find these investors, okay? Well, the very first thing you need to do is go network. And I want to give you a precursor to this. Before you go out and network, what you're going to need to do is get your house in order. So before you actually go out and network with people and start proposing deals to them, they're going to do their due diligence on you. They're going to do their homework on you. So you need to make sure everything online, your online presence and your online profile, is squeaky clean and congruent with what you're trying to do. So you want to make sure that you've got your LinkedIn profile, everything you've got on companies' house is right, everything you've got on social media is right, and presents you in the right light. One of the things that you don't want to be doing is saying, I'm a business buyer, but by day I'm a plumber, unless you're going to be open about it and there's some reason for you to do it, okay? So you need to make sure everything is squeaky clean, everything is going to be good, because people will do their due diligence on you, and you need to make sure that everything is going to be set up in the right way so they can trust you, okay? Because people need to get to know you, like you, and trust you before they do any form of business with you, okay? That's the precursor. One of the things I'm going to say is this, okay, and I think this is super important. This is something I teach, and I think a lot of the gurus do not teach you this. They talk about doing the deal, and they talk about like getting investors on board. One of the things I like to talk about is relationship building, and I think when you build a deep relationship and a connection with someone beyond just business, then you're going to get a deeper understanding of that person, okay, and you're going to form a genuine friendship. One of the things you want to be doing is finding out a bit more about their personal goals, their life, their family life, what are their big goals and their dreams and aspirations, because once you start understanding that, you understand what their objectives are, you can then start positioning your deals if they support them to do that, okay? So you can see that this person may need to achieve a certain monetary figure. They might want to put their kids through college or private education, and they then want to have this additional money. If you can help them to achieve that goal, and you've got the right opportunity, then you can marry it up, okay? So it's about finding out what's right for them and creating that win-win scenario. So let's get into networking, okay? Now look, I need to set your expectations. When you go out and you build these relationships with people, people aren't gonna write you a check straight away. It's gonna take time to build that relationship. They need to get to know you, like you, and trust you. When you go out and you are building relationships with potential investors, it's the same as dating. You don't ask for marriage on the first date. You need to get to know these people. You need to make sure that your values are aligned. You need to make sure that you've got this good connection with them and a good working relationship, because a lot of time, and I've seen this a lot, especially in the property world, people get so caught up on doing the deal or the joint venture that they forget the relationship aspect. What if things don't go right, or what if things go wrong? Can I work with this person? Are they of the right mindset, or are they going to be one of these people that are going to be a nightmare to deal with? So many people get caught up on the deal, but they don't realize that the relationship is equally as important, especially if they're going to invest into your business, or they're going to invest or give you a loan. You know, if they have some life challenge or something goes a little bit wrong, or you're delayed in paying the money back, how are they going to respond and react? You just don't want any drama in your life, okay? So having that relationship and seeing that person and seeing what they're like as a person is super important, okay? So you want to find out what's going on in their personal life, what they're like as a person, and then you need to nurture that relationship. Now, the reality is that you're going to go and have several meetings with these people. It could take a few months, it could take a year, it could take 18 months, or it could even take a couple of years. So you need to just have that as an expectation that it's going to take time, okay? That you're going to need to build these relationships. It's not going to happen overnight. The immediate wins are going to be from friends and family, but these relationships will take a longer time. And it's going to cost you some money because you're going to go out for coffees, you might go out for lunch. In some cases, you might even fly out to see investors. Next month, I'm going out to Monaco. I'm going to a particular networking event. I've been introduced to a couple of investors. So I'm flying over there to go and meet with them, to get to know them. I'm there for a long weekend. Obviously, that's going to take time and some money to do. It's going to be a fun experience as well. But this is the kind of stuff that you need to do, okay? So in that relationship building, it's an opportunity for us to get to know each other, for me to get to know people to get to know me. I think one of the things that's important as well is you need to be consistent. So you need to be consistent in managing that relationship. So one of the things that I do, and this is what I teach to my students to do inside the Wealth Academy, is to create a list of investors that you go out and meet. Go meet with them once a month. Go meet for a coffee once a month, like one day a month. I'm going to be in central London. Why don't you come and meet me? Come and meet me in my office in Mayfair, and we can sit, we can chat, we can have a coffee. We can nip round to a local bar if you want to, and we can maintain that relationship, find out what's going on for them, what their challenges are, and so forth, and have that regular, consistent contact, because that's what's going to build that know, like, and trust, okay? So this is the time aspects that you need to put in. Now, this is great if someone is local, but you're going to have to do the same thing if you're going to travel. So I'll be going backwards and forwards to Monaco over the next few months. That's just how it's going to be because I'm building connections there. This is what you're going to need to do, and I need to do that on a consistent basis so people get to see my face, and again, it's about that trust. The next thing you're going to need to do is this, okay? You're going to need to have some kind of pitch deck and be able to present your deal in such a way that people can get all the information that they need, okay? So they can look at it at a glance in a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, have an understanding of the business, have an understanding of what the opportunities are, what the costs are, what the finance requirements are, the fact that you've got skin in the game, okay? You need to have some skin in the game, and you need to know that it's a good deal, and you've also got to be comfortable with the deal, okay? If you're not comfortable with the deal, for any reason whatsoever, they will pick up on it. Now, who's going to invest in a deal that you're not comfortable with, okay? So you've got to make sure it's a solid deal. So these are the kinds of things you need to do in your pitch deck. And, you know, I used to have people come to me saying, Akhtar, I've got a deal. And I'm like, well, what is it? And they tell me over the phone, and I'm like, no, that's no good to me. I can't visualize that. I need to see something written down, high level overview of what the deal is, what the requirements are, where the opportunity is, and you know what's required to make the deal. And I can then make an assessment to say, is it a deal? Is there enough meat on the bone? Am I comfortable with the risk? And is it something I want to get involved in? You need to make that process easier for an investor so they can see your deal. So you need to have a deal in a pitch deck, presented the right way so they can see, okay? Now, the other thing you need to do is this. You need to bear in mind that this is going to be a numbers game, right? Not everyone's going to go for the deal that you've got, and there's going to be a number of reasons. It might not be that they're comfortable with the industry. They might not be comfortable with what you're trying to do. They might not be comfortable with the level of risk involved or how much equity you've got or what's required. There may be several reasons. It doesn't mean they're going to say no to every deal, but they may not. And it also depends on what's going on in their life at that time. They might have had their money out somewhere else, or they might be doing something else at that point in time. So this is a numbers game, right? And you need to understand that, okay? Because one of the things I see people do is this. They go out and they propose a deal to people, and then they go, well, yeah, I asked 3 or 4 people, and then, they all said no. Okay. You need to be asking more people. You need to have that attitude of tenacity. You need to have that kind of persistence going on. Just think of Thomas Edison. I think someone asked him once, like, how does it feel to have failed 1,000 times, like in not making a light bulb work? He said, I haven't failed 1,000 times. I've found 1,000 ways that don't work, which means I'm close to finding a way that does work. That's the kind of mindset that you need to have. You need to have that 1% mindset, hell or high water, I'm going to do what it takes to make this happen. The second thing is, I think KFC, Colonel Sanders, I think he got rejected 1,400 times before someone actually said yes to his offer. Now, I don't think you need to go out there and speak to like 1,000 or 1,400 people, but you are going to need to speak to like dozens of people, okay, before you get the deal across the line. The second thing is this. A big mindset shift is if you've never asked people for money, people feel really uncomfortable. They almost feel like they're taking their cap off and going begging. You need to reframe that and see that you're not asking for money. You're not like a pauper that's asking for money, okay? You're actually going there and you're asking for investment, but you're giving someone a good return. Now, the way I see it is if you've got a good deal, and I always look for good deals where I go, do you know what, we can be generous with this. We can give an investor back a serious amount of money or a really healthy return on their money compared to it being in the bank. And I'm happy and comfortable with the risk because I've got 3 exit strategies. And I know that if plan A doesn't work, plan B will work. If plan B doesn't work, plan C is going to work. And the probability of those like disaster clauses happening is very minimal. And even the other thing is if it all like really went tits up, I could sell one of my properties and pay the investor back. That way I know I can sleep at night, okay? So this is kind of what you need to do. Okay, you need to make sure that you are absolutely solid in that, okay? And that you're giving someone a good opportunity. So as long as it's genuinely is a good opportunity, you need to realize that you are offering someone a good opportunity that's going to give them a monetary return. And I want you to understand this, right? There's people out there that have got lazy capital sat in the bank. Inflation is at like an all-time high right now. I think we're at 5.4% or maybe a little bit more than that. It's at 5%. So people's money is shrinking. And if you've got people who haven't got the skill or the knowledge to go and invest or to go and do businesses or to go and invest in property, their money is shrinking. I have a few people that I work with that are investors that I would say they're not sophisticated business people, but the money that I give them on a regular, consistent basis makes a huge difference to their life. A couple of people that semi-retired, I give them, on some cases, I roll the interest up so they get a lump sum at the end of the term. Other cases, I give them a monthly payment out of interest, which helps to supplement their pension, if you like. There's people out there that you'll be doing a favor for. So you need to understand that and go there with that frame of mind. Actually, what I'm doing is offering you an opportunity, and actually this is a good opportunity to help you make money. So if you go there from that point of view, you're not going to get uncomfortable thinking, hey, I'm asking for money, I'm begging, okay? You're not. You're offering people an opportunity so long as your deal is a solid deal that lends itself to give people those kinds of returns. The next thing I want to talk about is rejection, right? A lot of times when people say no, we can feel rejected, and that can be a little bit painful. Now, you've got to understand something. It's not rejection. It's simply at that point, that person is exercising a choice to say this is not right for them at that point in time. But really, I want you to reframe this like this, okay? There's no such thing as rejection. It's really redirection. So if this person says no, you just say thank you very much and thank you very much for your time. They're redirecting you to the next person. Go to the next person, okay, and have that conversation with them and propose your offer. If they say no, go to the next person and keep going and keep going and keep going until you get a yes, okay? That's what you got to do. You got to keep going, and you got to remember that this is a numbers game, okay? This is really, really like a numbers game. And once you do get those people that invest with you, here's the beauty of it. With all the investors I've ever worked with, once I've done a deal with them, we've paid them back and paid them their interest, they're normally really happy. We go, here's your lump sum of money back, okay? And they go, oh, Akhtar, that was great, that was lovely. Well, do you want to take it back and do another deal? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I've had investors that have invested with me consistently for like 7 years, 8 years. The longest one has been 11 years because I keep doing her a good service. Here's the money, here's the interest rate, and here's it back, okay, and it works. So you've got to remember that there is this big upfront kind of learning curve. There's quite a bit of a steep mountain to kind of climb in terms of learning this stuff and putting it into practice. Once you've got that investor on board, if the circumstances are right, you can keep them for a long time because they'll keep reinvesting with you and reinvesting with you, okay? That's what happens. And once you've done the first one and you've got the first investor on board, it's going to be so much easier for you to then do the second one and then the third one because you refine the process. The first investor is always going to be the one that's not easy to get. After that, it becomes easier and easier and easier because you've learned what to say, how to do things, you've refined your craft, you've refined your presentation of your pitch deck, you know what to do, and also you've got some social proof to say, well, I just did this with this person over here, this is the kind of deal I did for them. Oh, that's interesting. And the other thing that will happen is once you start doing deals with people and they invest with you, they will start to tell other people, well, actually, I did this thing with Akhtar where I invested some money, you might want to talk to him, and they can bring other investors in. So it's about cutting your teeth first off. That's the steep learning curve. Once you've done that, it's going to be easier and easier for you to start raising money, okay? But just understand, this is the reality of like finding private investors. It is time consuming. It does build relationships. But the way that I see it is this. It doesn't matter if that investor invests with me or not. Going out and meeting people is always a great thing to do because you're starting to expand your network. Sometimes like I end up talking to people and go, well, it's really interesting that you do this property and business stuff. I'm interested in it. And it opens doors for you and they kind of get to know what you do and they tell people and so forth. It's about expanding your network. And they say that your network is your net worth. This is one of the reasons I'm going over to Monaco. I'm building my network over there. I want to build my network internationally. Monaco is the playground for the rich and famous. 1 in 3 people there is a millionaire. There's loads of billionaires over there. It's only a small place. Apartments there, cheapest apartments start at £2 million. So you get an idea of the kind of people that are over there. Well, there's wealthier people over there, and there's good people over there that I can connect with and really get to enjoy their company. So I don't see it as a wasted time, okay? You need to see it as it's an opportunity in multiple ways. And if someone says no, it's just no at that point. It might be that, later on they'll come back, or you'll present another opportunity to them and say, look, this might be more fitting for what you like or what you're comfortable with. So this is the kind of stuff you need to do to raise money. And again, like wherever you can, I like to do things as creatively as possible for little to no money down. Some deals just don't work that way. Sometimes there's a great deal that it needs a load of cash in. If my own cash is utilized and tied up in another deal, then, I'll need to use money from somewhere else or someone else's money. And that's the thing that you want to do. So coming back to what I was saying in the first place is this, right? When I got started, I didn't get started. I used not having money as a reason not to start. It took me 10 years to get my first deal across the line. That's in the property world. Really what you need is skill and knowledge, and what I'm giving you here is a step-by-step blueprint of what you need to do, how you need to do things, how you need to think, okay, so that you can go out and start raising money. And also the reality of the time it's going to take you to go out and build those relationships. But it's one of those things, it's like a sausage machine. Once you start to get those investors on board, once you start to go and have those meetings, it's just a case of like bringing more people in, nurturing those relationships, going for those coffees, going for those lunches, flying off if you need to go fly off somewhere and go and spending those time with those people, because that will open the doors. And you don't need that many investors. If you've got half a dozen investors or 10 investors on board that have committed to you, then you've got a good pool of investors and you can keep recycling their funds. That's going to allow you to grow like exponentially, okay? So what do you do once you've actually got to the point where you've met an investor and they've pledged with you? Well, if you've got that right deal there, you can go straight ahead and do things. But if you're meeting with investors and you haven't got a deal, one of the things you can do is ask them to pledge you a sum of money. So yeah, I'm interested in working with you. Here's some deals that I've done before. I've got a few in the pipeline. I can kind of say to people, this is what I've got in the pipeline. This is what I'm working on right now. This is where they are in the stages of negotiation. But for this deal over here, I'll probably be looking for this amount of money. For that deal over there, I'll be looking for this amount of money. For this one here, it's going to be a deferred consideration, so we won't need anything for that. For this business, we could do for a business loan, like, we want to expand and buy more equipment. You just start sounding things out. Now, if you haven't got any experience of doing this kind of stuff, it's going to be a little bit tricky for you, okay? You just start off small, but it's probably worth you partnering with someone, okay? So find someone that you can partner with who you can capitalize on their credibility. So people who come into my academy, people who come into my wealth academy, one of the things that they do is they have this problem of, well, look, I've never done this before, what do I do? And I say, look, I'll be your business partner. I will partner with you so you can utilize my credibility and my skill set to get your first deal done. So when it comes out to my students doing things, I will often go out with them to help them to close the deal, but I'll also go out and help them to close the investor. Now, what the investor does is they like the fact that I've had 30 years experience, I've got a lot more track record, and I'm working with them. That gives them the comfort to know that this person isn't like a complete newbie, doesn't know what they're doing, and is going to lose all their money. So this is something you could do. You can come and work with someone like myself, or find someone who's more experienced that you can partner with and utilize and capitalize on their skill and their knowledge and their expertise, and that's going to give them a degree of comfort. So guys, look, I've kind of done a deep dive on this, okay? You just got to be like really consistent with this stuff, okay? You've got to keep going out there and doing it. Just be realistic with the time it's going to take. It is like dating, but you're not dating. You're going out there and nurturing those relationships, and the end goal is to work with these people, but to work with them on a long-term basis, creating a win-win scenario that you can help them not only just make some money, but find out what their life goals are, what their pain points are, what their challenges are, so you can help them to achieve that through the opportunities that you're given. If you present an opportunity to someone and say, look, I think this will be a great deal for you because this is what it will give you. And I know when we spoke last time, you was looking to do something and you needed this amount of money. I think this could work well for you. Because what you're doing then is not about the business opportunity. It's not about the money. It's about the result they're trying to achieve. So what you're actually doing then at that point is you're selling the result. Actually, if you do this deal with me, this is the result it's going to help you with personally. And that's what's going to sell, okay? So guys, I'm going to stop this here because I've done a deep dive on this, okay? Go and utilize this stuff, okay? Go put this stuff into practice and go out there and start getting your investor pipeline sorted out. Start getting that investor pipeline. So what I suggest you do is, first thing I suggest you do, and this is what I suggest to my Academy members, is just get a pen and paper and just write down 10 people that you could approach, friends and family, that may have some money, And the conversation will be something like this. You go and speak to them and say, hey, look, do you know someone who might be interested in investing in a deal with me? I'm going to give them this, I need this amount of money and this is the return I can give them. Now, when you frame it in that way, they don't feel awkward like you're asking them, hey, do you know anyone who might be interested in this? Okay, that's the first thing you can do with friends and family. That's where you're going to get your quickest wins. Once you've got that down, then get your pitch deck together and start going out and networking, okay? So go put this stuff into practice. Do me a favor and let me know how you get on, okay? In the comment section below, put your questions or comments or share your experiences with me. What have your experiences been of raising private finance, okay? Now, if you want to learn how to do more of this kind of stuff, you'll need to become a top tier 1% entrepreneur. You've got to become comfortable with doing this and see yourself as a bit of a mover and shaker, okay? So if you do what 99% of people do, which is they go out and they learn this stuff and they kind of don't know what to do or they get stuck and they quit, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to be very persistent, you need to be consistent, and you need to have that tenacity to keep going. That's what the 1% do, and that's why they're able to raise large amounts of money to do more deals than anyone else, okay? And if you want to learn about that, you can come inside our academy, and if you want to do that, you can book a call. There'll be a link underneath this video. You can book a strategy call with me and my team, and what we can do is identify where you are now in your business, where you need to go, and we can give you the steps and stages to do that, and if you're a right fit for us, we can invite you into the academy, okay? The other thing you can do is join our Facebook group. There'll be a link underneath, okay? Inside there'll be lots of tips and tricks and also lots of content I'll be giving out. And lastly, you can join our top tier 1% newsletter. Again, the link underneath. Inside there, I'll be sharing content that I don't share on social media. And I'll also be doing a lot more mindset stuff to give you the mindset, the belief system that you need and the self-confidence to actually go out to do deals and raise money. So guys, I hope you found this useful. Remember, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye for now.